So anyway, let's get into this training. So my goal for this training and for future trainings, just so you guys know, is to be as direct as possible, as quick as possible, because I know that your time is important. And yeah, so let's dive in to, let me take this out real quick. Let's just turn this guy off. And then that way you guys can just focus on not seeing my face, unfortunately. And you guys can just worry about watching the training. So to get into all of this, let me go back over here. This is the number one document that I want to go through. And I want to talk to you guys about this infinite headlines hack. When I created this for our company, we kind of did this because there are so many problems that people have with the companies that we work with in creating content, right? Everyone knows that you need to create content. You're supposed to post regularly. You're supposed to post daily, even some people say. And the reality is that most companies that we work with struggle to create content. And it's really not that people don't know what to post or I'm sorry, it's not that people have problems posting content or creating content. It's really the problem that people have is coming up with the idea for the content. And that's what this whole headlines hack is designed to solve, right? The goal for this document is to take all of the time and effort and worry out of coming up with the idea for the content and then just focusing on the content itself. And I think in doing so, you'll find that the content creation process makes a whole lot more sense. It makes things so much more easy, so much faster and easier, and hopefully this will make things faster and easier for you guys. Now, in here, you can skip this part up here, the commands. We'll go over the commands in just a moment. But if you just look at this document, and I think the ones you guys downloaded are all in PDF form. But if you're looking at the document, you can go through these and you can just start looking at these headlines. And what we've done is we've taken the most engaged with pieces of content from across the different social media platforms over the last few years. We've done that using tools like Buzzsprout and SEMrush or SEMrush. And we found what's been engaged with and what's been asked and what's been posted online. And we turned this into a template so that it can work in any industry for any business. And you can just take a look at this. So right now, for example, if you were to start making content with this immediately, you can look at this and say how to get whatever result you want in whatever time frame you want without doing the thing you hate. Okay, so let's just say, for example, that I was in the fitness world. I might say how to lose weight in 10 days without giving up carbs. Okay. So this is how this works. You can literally plug and play anything in any industry in here. And this in itself has turned our content creation process from, I don't know, days into minutes. And so by going through here, literally just the other day, I was working with a client and we filmed about a month's worth of content over 2 days, but really about 3 hours worth of filming. So I think you guys can do the same. It's really not that difficult, and you are probably just like me, where you know your industry inside and out. For me, if somebody asks me about marketing, I will talk their ear off. And unfortunately, I am just as bad as everyone else when it comes to creating content ideas. People will say, okay, well, I want to create content. I need to make something to post, but I don't know what to post today. I don't know what to post tomorrow or this week or whatever, right? And so hopefully this document takes all of the questions out of that for you so that you can literally just get in here and start creating content. And that's what this whole thing is for. Now, to really take this to the next level, and this is what I wanted to talk about today, the document itself is fine. The document itself is a wonderful document that will make your content creation process so much faster just by using these headlines in here. There are about 125 of the top performing headlines all put in here and templatized for you. But to really take things to the next level, this is where things get fun. And this is a tool, a free tool called ChatGPT. Now, AI has really hit the scene hard. I think it came out it went live in November. And to give you guys an idea of how important this is, I think Facebook, when it launched, it took over a month to get 1 million users. Twitter, Instagram, all the same. And this hit 1 million users in 5 days. So the whole world is going to be jumping on here. if you guys haven't already, I recommend going to chat.openai.com and signing up for a free account. Okay, you can definitely do that, and you can create tons and tons of great content in here. But here's how we're going to make this really work. Okay, I'm going to open up in another tab on my other thing just so I can copy and paste this stuff in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that document that you just, the Infinite Headlines Hack, and what we're going to do is we're going to start copying and pasting pieces of that in here into ChatGPT. And the reason we're going to do that is because if we can use this document alongside ChatGPT, I think you'll find that everything that you do is going to be done much, much faster. Okay, so let's go through here real quick, and I will show you exactly what I'm talking about. So in here, if you guys are looking at the documents here, so we're going to take these headlines, okay, and these commands. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by taking this very first command, fill in the bracket, and convert these headlines into headlines about blank. Now, the beauty of ChatGPT versus anything like Google or anything else that's been out before is that it's very conversational. It's designed as an AI conversation model, so you can ask it anything, and there's tons and tons of things you can do with this. But by making it conversational, it makes the process very seamless and very easy for anyone who's not used to dealing with technology. So we're going to start by copying and pasting in some of these prompts. So we're going to say, let's fill in the brackets and convert these headlines into headlines about blank. And now we're going to let's just take a handful of these first headlines that are in the document. I'm going to paste it in here, and that's it. And then I'm going to hit go. And with this is the only thing you have to change is you need to fill in the blank for what you want to talk about. So what is your industry? And so let's just go back to that weight loss example to start with, and hit go. And ChatGPT will take these templated headlines that we've already created for you and turn this into something that is incredibly powerful. And in seconds, you will have all of these headlines done for you. How to lose weight in 30 days without going to the gym. Great. That's kind of close to what I had said. 10 quick tips to boost your weight loss. And so if you're a professional in the weight loss industry, you can start looking at these things and really start making content very, very quickly. Now, the beauty of this is that these things work for any business in any industry. And so let's just say we're going to take this and copy this again. And let's just do another one, because I know I've got some people in the real estate market. So let's do something to help realtors. We'll just say the same thing. Let's say buying a home, and go. And just like that, literally that fast, you can start creating content ideas for yourself. Now, here's how this works in actual practice. Okay, so as you're creating these content ideas, then the next step would be to record videos of these or to do other forms of content, for example, blog content or something else, right? So here's the beauty. Now, if you look at the commands that we've already put in here, okay, you can take this command, and I'm trying to do this without copying everything over. There we go. And let's just paste this in here. And why renting is a waste of money. Let's just copy that. I'll do one at random and go. And now the beauty of this is that ChatGPT will take the headlines that we've already given you and turn this into content that you can literally start using on your website almost immediately. Now, I will say there is a caveat to this, okay? If you're using something like this AI tool to create blog posts for yourself, there are some things you need to know. Number one is that Google has already come out and said, yes, we know about this AI tool and other AI tools just like this. And if you just use the AI given content, we will flag it. It's marked as spam. They'll consider it spam on Google. So know that this will give you a wonderful article to start with, a great blog post to start with. Just take this, read through it, and then make it your own. Okay, if you can do that, make a few tweaks to each one, each of these paragraphs or whatever it is, then you are off to the races. Okay. Now we're going to come back to this blog post idea in just a second, because there's another document on that website that I gave you guys to view this at, and that is called the No Fail Content Creation Formula. And here's where this all ties in. I'll get back to this in a second. Okay. So, anyway, in terms of creating content, so now once we have these things, if you're creating a blog post for yourself, you can literally go through here and start creating, start revising this, make sure it's in your own voice, make sure it's in your own words. And if you do that really quickly, you can create an entire blog post in a matter of, 10, 15 minutes at most. Okay. For other companies, now this works really well. This really works the best for service-based businesses who need to educate their customers or potential leads. And there are some industries that this may be a little bit difficult to use the infinite headlines hack with, and that might be something that's more experience-based, but you can still use it, for example, like a bar or restaurant. And you can still do that with different types of cuisine, or make these headlines more about specific ways people like to go out and enjoy stuff. So, or you can turn these into specifics about your dishes, and that will work. And then obviously you have to take these, whatever it gives you as the prompts, and then kind of make it your own. Now, I know that there's somebody else in here who's doing solar. So again, for plumbers, roofers, electricians, any kind of contracting work, stuff like that, doors, windows, solar, you can do the same thing. And then instead of creating content where you're trying to just do this about your industry, okay? You don't have to just make this about your industry. You can break down your industry that you're in, and you can use this headlines hack to create variations of content within your industry. And here's what I will do as an example for that. I'll give you an example right now. I created one just like this for weight loss professionals, okay? And in doing this with weight loss professionals, what I ended up doing is creating an Excel sheet, essentially, okay? And we did this, so let me see. This is I'll bring this over here real quick. So if you're trying to create, it doesn't have to just be about your one specific industry. What I did is I took this and I broke it down into topics about weight. If it's all about fitness, it's weight loss, fat burning, hitting your goals while traveling, nutrition and diet, and so on and so forth, right? So I created about 20 or so different categories, subcategories within this category for fitness and for health. And so in doing so, then I took these headlines and I was able to then copy our infinite hack headlines, infinite headlines hack, one at a time. I went through, I think you can do about 20 or 30 or so at a time, and just started pasting these in with this as the goal. And so you can do the same thing with any kind of other industry. And this is how you can really break down and break out of just talking about the totality of your business. You can break it down into the different areas. So for example, if we're going back to the idea of service-based companies like electricians or roofers or plumbers or solar, maybe it's not just about converting to solar. Maybe it's about changing your content over to maybe like the different things that you would break that down into. So people who might be interested in more like a greener living, or net zero living, if that's possible. People who don't want to waste money on like oil and gas, or natural gas type stuff. And so there are different categories of people, and there are different ways of breaking that down. So what I would do is I would look at their pain points, look at your customers' pain points, and then turn those pain points into the talking points here, and then let ChatGPT fill in the blanks. So for example, switching to solar for my home. And you can start creating content that way around ChatGPT, and it will take this information and really turn this into something more specific to the pain points. Let me try and refresh this. So this is how you can really break things down, or maybe say switching to solar from natural gas, maybe. There we go. And so how to save money on energy bills in 1 month without spending hours researching. Okay. And obviously some of these may not be great. You might want to just tweak these. But again, the whole point for all of this is to make this a starting point for you guys to take all of the writer's block, the starting point. That's the hardest way to get, or for anybody when they're creating content, is just getting started. I think if you can break through that barrier of what to talk about in your professional industry, in your niche, whatever that might be, then you guys are probably well versed enough to then create the content. That's at least how it works for me and for most of the companies that I work with. I know that it's really never the problem of creating the content, is coming up with the idea of what to talk about first. So anyway, hopefully in short and sweet, this is how you use the Infinite Headlines hack. This is exactly what you need to do. If you want to create tons and tons of ideas very quickly, you can break it down, and you can really break it down into multiple sub niches in your industry, just the way I did here, to really essentially come up with tons and tons of ideas. Now, here's the great thing about this. By doing it this way, I created 20 in this one. I did one, I think I did 18 for marketing and a couple other industries that we're working with. So in doing this, if you really want to be smart about this, then if you're looking at like how to post stuff, if you really want to be aggressive with your posting online, then you can take this information and say, if you had 5 different categories, for example, that you wanted to break your content down into, okay, and there's 125 different things here, then you can really start creating essentially 1 post per day, and you would have one post per day every day for the next 2 years, and you'd still have content left over. If you did, when we did 15 categories, we broke it down into 15 videos. I wonder if I can share that document with you as well. So when we were creating content at scale, we were looking at posting 3 posts per day, and then so I can share this with you. So then what happens is, then by these 3 posts per day across 5 different platforms, then that's 15 posts that we need to create, for the week, and then it just gets rotated through these different platforms on different days. And then at that point, you're literally rocking and rolling 3 posts per day very, very quickly. And you can do that with this in a matter of seconds, giving you the ideas. Now, the beauty of this is that when you're creating this kind of content, you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be well produced. The best performing content right now is actually not highly produced videos, with professional camera gear and looking really fancy, because the reality is that most people see that stuff now. We're in this swipe era where they don't want to be sold ads. They don't want to be looking at ads and stuff like that. And if it's really highly produced, it looks like an ad. People usually swipe past it. The best performing content right now is just on a cell phone. So you can literally take this information out, or give this information to your team. For example, let's just say we'll do the same thing for plumbers, right? And let's just say that we are out and about. We got our team of plumbers. Sorry, my fingers are cold right now. It's cold in the office. So you can take this information out and literally have the team break it down. Say, these are the pieces of content we need to create this week. Make sure that when you go out there, if you're out in front of someone's home, you're working with a client or a customer, you can go through and make a quick cell phone video talking about what you're doing, and use these as your headlines to get you started on that information, and then you're ready to go. Now, when you are posting it to social media, there are a couple things too that you should keep in mind. That just posting it by itself is good on cell phones, but you can make it even better with a simple app. There are several of them out there called like a Headlines app. I think the one that on, if you have an Apple phone, I think it's actually called Headlines. I think that's what it's called. And anyway, I can find those. I can put them in the link below later. But anyway, there are several different ones. And what happens is, by creating different, not headlines, I'm sorry, the text underneath the video, the apps themselves will do that. So make sure you put if you're recording a phone video on your phone, you can actually upload it, and then Instagram and TikTok will both create subtitles for you. And they're pretty good, but I think there are some apps out there that will create subtitles for you quickly. That's the word I was looking for. I apologize. So subtitles, and it will dramatically increase the engagement rates on your posts. So within seconds, you can literally batch create, several different videos. If you wanted to create 5 of these, you just say, okay, here's 5 videos that I want to create, today. You can put your phone up in front of you, You can answer those 5 things real quick, save them as individual videos, go into the editor, and just upload them to whatever subtitle app you want to use. And then you can have subtitles added on there very quickly and easily. You can customize the branding and the subtitle coloring to your company's branding. And you've got posts that you can schedule out throughout the week. And now you no longer have to worry about anything else. So that is how very quickly and easily you can create tons and tons of content without any questions, without any hesitation and time trying to figure out what the heck you're going to post. So hopefully that helps. Now, I do want to go through a couple more documents that I did post in the on that website, because they're designed to give you guys some extra tools and really make things easier for you when you're creating content. So we'll go through the standard content creation plan, the no-fail content creation formula real quick. I think this will be helpful for you guys as well. Let me zoom in if you guys can't see that. I'm not sure you can. So let me zoom in here real quick. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. If you can't, just go over to the YouTube channel and just comment and let me know. And if you guys have any questions as well when you're about this stuff, just leave some comments on the video and then I can address them at the end. So anyway, so in this content creation process, we put this together because a lot of people, number one, don't have time or don't desire or don't have the help that they need to create content, and so they just don't, right? Many businesses fall into this category where they just don't create content quickly or easily, and they don't want to, and so they just don't do it. So instead of the thought, which is obviously no longer a problem because you guys have all these different ideas, but beforehand, the biggest problem was people would say to us, they'd say, well, I don't know what to post this week. I don't know what to post this month. If you want me to post every single day, that's 5 different ideas or 7 different ideas that I have to come up with. And that can be difficult for people. So what we decided to do was make a process that simplifies it to only having 4 concepts per week. And hopefully if you can do this, you can create 4 different ideas for the week. And that's it. And then you're good to go. So what I mean by that is you take a little bit of time to come up with some ideas for a blog post. Again, you shouldn't have to have too much time anymore because you can create all these different ideas right here. But then you can create one blog post. And blog posts are usually done in a list format, right? Top 3 things, top 5 things for this, top 7 ways to do that, or whatever, okay? And that's how you can create long form blog content. And now, as we showed in here before, I think if you were to take one of these other scripts, so if we copied this script over here, write an SEO optimized blog post about why I don't ignore minor plumbing issues. Okay, sure. And let it go. This will create the blog post for you. Now, here's why having a blog post to start is the most important thing. If you create one blog post as the main theme for the week, and then all of your other pieces of content come from that one main theme for that week, then you've simplified the process and your brain power from having to create one piece of content or per day to one piece of content, one real piece of content per week, one idea per week. And here's what I mean by that. If you were to create one blog post, this one blog post can be posted onto your website as a blog post. You can read through the blog post and have that as one long form video. Okay, so this one thing, if you read through it or summarize it, that can be one video, long form as well, right, for YouTube. The audio from that long form reading of this content can be also posted as a podcast, right? You'd have to just record a different intro and outros, but that can be a podcast episode. Then you can take each one of these major points, right, in here. So usually the blog points you'll have like 2, 3, 4, 5 different sections or themes or points in here within your article. Each one of these can be summarized as a short form video content for TikToks, Reels, YouTube Shorts. And so each one of these can be a piece of content. And so then you can also take some of these and summarize them as tweets. And if you're not sure, you can just ask, make this point about plumbing, to a tweet. And usually, there we go. It'll come up with some good ideas, right? And there's your tweet. So if you don't know what to do, you can literally just ask ChatGPT, summarize these things, and away you go. Now, here's the other thing too that's nice. If you guys work in if you work in an office and you're long days, lots of meetings, things like that, you can also use this AI tool to summarize your meeting notes and stuff like that and give you action points, which is great. So consider that as well. But anyway, you can take any kind of content and summarize it into short points. You can take the scripts that you make for your content and turn them into tons of different shorter pieces of content, all in here, and ChatGPT will do it all for you. So it really takes all of the questions and all the headache out of trying to come up with the ideas for the content. Here's another one. If you take this 30 seconds, right? So let's just take this, okay? And we'll just take that same thing. Actually, let's just take that back. Well, okay, we'll just let it go. But anyway, there you go. So if you don't know what to do, you can just say, okay, write a 30-second video script with no introduction about this topic, whatever I had just had here. And now it will literally write you a quick script. And now you can take that script and you can put it on your phone. There are some free apps out there and some with paid versions. I do like the app called Teleprompter. It's a little blue box with white lines. You can put that on your phone and create essentially a teleprompter. You can it'll read the scripts that you create on your phone. You can do it while in selfie video mode, and you can literally sit there and record your video content. Just email yourself the script from here, from ChatGPT, open it up in the teleprompter app, and record yourself while recording or while reading these headlines, and then you're done, right? So all of a sudden, even if you're not good on camera, you can have a teleprompter, just read it, and then you can start creating content that way. So anyway, tons and tons of ideas in here. This is how you can create tons of content very, very quickly. And that is basically what I went on to cover and that. So going back to the content creation process and doing this, you can literally take your content, your headlines, turn that headline into a blog post very, very quickly. Make sure you optimize that blog post. Just go through and make sure that it is in your voice, in your tone. It's not directly copied from the AI because it will get flagged as spam, and so you won't rank for anything like that on Google. But if you just go through and read it real quickly and make sure that it's in your own voice and it's got all the things that you really want to say in there, then you can essentially rewrite this very, very quickly. Now, there is another tool. If you just don't have the time or you just don't want to read, you don't want to do anything like that, you can also go over to another tool. I believe it's called Quillbot.com. Yeah, okay, Quillbot. So, all right, so if you're really short on time, you really don't want to create more content and revise the blog content that this gives you, that is in here, you can essentially copy all that over here and paste it in here, and it will paraphrase it for you. And then it will no longer be flagged by Google or anyone else for AI use, which is funny because you're using AI to fix AI. So anyway, that's how you can create this kind of content. And then from there, you can essentially schedule those posts out. So you can batch create content. That's, by the way, the fastest, easiest way to do it. Just record as much as you can at one time. Do it all in a 20, 30, 45-minute setting or something like that, or an hour, and just get as much as you can done, and then you can schedule it all out, and away you go. Now, once you're scheduling out your content, you're probably thinking, shoot, I need to have a description or hashtags or whatever. Well, you can always go back over here, and so you can ask ChatGPT, say, hey, make a short Instagram description and hashtags for the post above, and it will do that for you. And then you can just copy and paste this in too. So more tools to help you very, very quickly create as much content as humanly possible in the shortest amount of time possible. And so if you go back and you're using these, I promise you can do unbelievable things, and these are super, super highly engaging, almost clickbaity titles, but they're designed that way on purpose to give you guys the best results possible online. So anyway, that is how you can create tons of content, no problem at all. And the last thing I wanted to show you guys is going through, and I'll show you this content publishing plan that's also included. So feel free to download this and go through this. I'll give you 2 quick notes on this. It's pretty much self-explanatory. You know, you can just read through this publishing plan, and I mean, you shouldn't have an issue. So if you have questions, obviously just reach out, you know, shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, and I will gladly respond. But for the most part, you can go through this publishing plan, and you know, this kind of gives you an idea of what to do every day. But there's one thing I do want to point out in here, and it says this is your Dream 100. So if you're creating content for your social media, okay, the Dream 100 is a very important tool and concept to understand. You guys can Google what is the Dream 100 strategy and read through all that stuff on here. But I'll give you the breakdown. Essentially is that the Dream 100 is the top 100 accounts, at least this is how I use it, okay? The top 100 accounts on a given platform that I want to be friends with, I want to connect with, right? Because they have already created my dream audience. They've already pulled it together, right? The whole point is to, instead of trying to market to everyone and just creating content out there and just making posts and hoping that people find your content, instead create and connect with other people who already have your ideal customers in mind. Okay, they've already gathered that audience. And so if you can do that, then you can just connect with those people, follow those people's accounts, and like their content. And that's what this is talking about in here. So let me see if I can actually pull up a full rock doc for you. And I will show you exactly what I'm talking about in terms of, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to pull one up for you guys right now so you can see what this looks like. And that way, if there's any questions about this, then hopefully this will kind of answer it. So, let's see here. Okay, so when I created one for myself, these are the people that I wanted to work with, right? So I went through and I found these Facebook groups, and I created this Dream 100 list for several different, platforms. So I wanted to have one on each platform because as I'm starting to grow these different platforms, then I wanted to be able to talk to these people. So what I did is I went in and I created and I found the groups of people that I wanted to work with, okay? And it's very easy to do that. If you were to go in, you can literally just go into any social media platform and just type in a hashtag. So like hashtag veteran-owned businesses, for example, or hashtag whatever, HOA stuff or whatever it is you're into, okay? Whatever niche you're trying to work with. And then what I would do is I'd just find those people, find the posts that are in there underneath that hashtag. And if the businesses or if the influencers that are posting that content have, at least between 10,000 followers to, let's just say, 200,000 followers, then I would add them to this list. And then that way it gives you an idea of who to connect with, right? These people all have they've already done the work of finding the people and gathering this audience of of people that are like-minded. So I wanted to work with people who are into marketing, videography, business processes, things like that. And I want them to become my audience. So if I want them to become my audience, then I would just follow these people who have already gathered that audience as their own audience. I know it's a little bit complicated, but then what you do, if you go back to the publishing plan, is I would just go through and follow these people's these people's content every single day. So I have my list, my Dream 100 list on the different platforms, and then I would say, okay, for these 100 people, I'm not going to follow anybody else. I don't care about anything else, and I would just see what they're talking about that day. And so every day when someone would post something on this network, I would go through and like it, talk about it, share it, and that's all that this is talking about right here. So every single day, just take a few minutes, 5 minutes, scroll through your feed of your Dream 100, see what they're using for their hashtags, their captions, their content, see what they're already doing, because they've already gathered your perfect audience. And so you can just look through their content, right? See what they're doing, see what they're talking about, and then use that as a jumping point for your content to create. Go through and like their stuff, watch their stories, and just go through and just, like their content. Say, hey, I love this post, great idea, great stuff, And their whole goal for that is that you're trying to be genuine, and you are, right? But the more that you can connect with these people who have already built your audience, there's two things that will happen. Number one, if you're doing this every day for a month, then by the time that month has come, by the time the month is over, they will know who you are, because anybody with sub 200,000 followers will see what's happening. Like, they're looking at their accounts on a regular basis. They're always following their stuff, and they're looking at who's commenting and who's connecting. So you can go in there and like, comment, and the people who are posting this stuff will see that. They'll get to know you. They'll go out and check your content out. They'll go check out your page. And what will also happen is that the people on this post who's also posting this, who's also following your Dream 100, they will see your content. They'll see your posts and say, oh, good content or good comment. Let me check out who this person is. People always like to snoop. Everyone's a snooper. So don't be surprised when you start getting more and more followers on your own channels just by going through and commenting and being engaging with the Dream 100 for that platform. Okay, every platform is different. There are different audiences on different platforms, so I think it's very, very important to understand that if you're trying to engage, and engage with people, and you really want people to follow you, there are, like, the people that create and post content on Twitter have a different mindset and a different process than creating content on YouTube and creating content on Instagram. So understand that the different audiences are different every place. And then when you do that, you can understand what is working for your ideal audience in that specific platform and in your niche. So that's why the Dream 100 is so important. But you can go through here and follow their stuff, look at them, comment and engage, interact. And in doing so, then you will automatically start getting followers and other people who will follow you back. Now, the other tip to this is, while you're doing this on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, go through and see, of your Dream 100, if you have someone who has a good post, like and take notes of the people who engage with that post, right? So if I'm following, let's just say I'm following, I don't know, I'm in Denver here, so let's just say I'm following the Broncos, and I see somebody who's, and I want football players or football enthusiasts to follow me. I would see who's actually engaging with the stuff, not just liking the post, because it's really easy to like a post, but you really want people who are talking or commenting, right? And so you can see who's commenting, and then go follow those people who are commenting on the posts. So in doing so, if you can get them to follow you back, you're knowing that you're getting people who are willing to engage online, instead of just liking and stuff like that. So you're going to get better quality followers back to your own account as you do that. So that's how you can use this document. Otherwise, it's pretty self-explanatory, but go through the Dream 100 template. I just go through and I make one. I copy and paste this one tab several times to make sure I've got one for each of the platforms that I want to be on. And then just go through and find accounts, right? And it's very, very easy. Again, you can simply go through on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, anything like that, and just search for the hashtags, or put in a simple search for whatever topic you want to talk about. See what kind of posts are out there, and then look for the people who are making posts and who have highly engaged with posts. Go follow them, and then add those people to your list. And then that now this is your sole focus on that platform. If you're trying to grow that platform, creating content is a big part of it, but then also following people who have already put together that ideal audience, that's the second part. So yeah, that is it for this part. So really, that's what I wanted to talk about. I don't know if there are any questions at all in the chat. If there are, I apologize. It's a little bit delayed, but if you guys have any questions, obviously let me know. And this is what I really wanted to go through. So number one is using the Infinite Headlines hack. You can use these pieces of content right now to go through and hold on. Okay, someone said that it's not working for one of the downloads. Okay, I'll make sure that it's fixed, and I can repost that page. But anyway, so the most important part in here is using this template. Okay, you can use these headlines in here to create tons and tons of content for yourself. Hopefully, you'll never have to think about what you have to post again. You can just take these headlines, throw it into ChatGPT, which is a free tool. Go sign up if you haven't already. Go sign up for a free account, and you can post them in here. Just copy and paste them with the commands, and then you will never have to worry about creating content ever again. All you have to do then at that point is just go through and sit on your cell phone, record it in selfie mode, create as much as you can at one time. If you want to get really fancy, you can then take that content and put it into free tools. If you're paying for paid tools, that's great too. Like I know Adobe Premiere Pro has a built-in transcription tool, and then they can create the subtitles for you. There's another tool called Descript, and that's a great free tool. You get a free trial. I think it's like a 30-day trial for Descript, Descript. And if you use Descript, it's another great one it will analyze your content that you put in there and then create really nice, attractive subtitles for your videos. And then you can post that stuff online, and then away you go. So that is how you can create tons and tons of content. From there, obviously, you can create your blog posts, and then email subject lines, anything like that, and you're done. It's literally just that simple. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Hopefully that helps you out to some degree with your content creation processes. And there's a lot more trainings to come in the future here. We do have a lot planned. So if you guys like this one, go follow the group at the bottom of the page, and then and you'll see that I think in the next week or two. Is that right, Megan? I think in the next week or so, we're going to be planning on creating at least one every other week. So come back and you'll have a lot more stuff like that. So if you guys have questions, if you have comments, if you have any feedback on this training, aside from hopefully getting the video feed fixed so it's not frozen every like 10 seconds, that'd be great. But if you have any feedback, let me know. We'll put it into the next ones. If there's things you want more specific on, if you need like industry specific or examples, let me know. I'm happy to put more headlines or more examples together, stuff like that ahead of time. So this training is as valuable to you guys as possible. And that is it. So I'm going to turn this off now, but thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys got some good value out of that. And we'll catch you next time.